Om Ashato Ma Sadgamaya Tamasho Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya Avir Maedhi Rudra Yatte Dakshinang Mukham Te Namang Pahi Nityam Te Namang Pahi Nityam. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness and ignorance to light and illumination. Lead us from death to immortality and evermore shine in our hearts with your resplendent face. Om peace, peace, peace be unto us all. So we are back to our reading of Shanti Gita with description on the web.
The description of the video.
Description of the verses you can find on online. So we have read this Shanti Gita. It is a critical analysis. The Arjuna lost his son in the battlefield and getting depressed and find no interest in anything in the world and very restless. So he went to Krishna, the Lord Krishna, and then Krishna is giving this advice to him that, in this world there is no relationship with anyone. Where we were, we do not know. How we are born into our parents, we do not know. And after being born there, how everything, relationships set up, that also is mysterious. And how this relationship also get discarded, disconnected. It's just like as if something happening unknown. We are all playing in a role. And Sri Krishna is telling Arjuna that see how we are born. This body is formed out of some mixing of semen, and in the mother's womb it goes, and then there comes the baby. It has no relationship with anyone. But in this way, the parents started thinking, is my son, my daughter. And as the baby grows, have no concept. He also grows gradually and thinks, oh, they are my mommy, daddy, oh, my auntie, uncle. No relationship, no one known each other, but it started creating all relationship. And as the son grows, it becomes young, or whatever happens to the child or the son, we feel affected because parents, my son, my daughter. And the child also says, my dad, my mom. And this relationship goes on. And when we die, that also, we separate out. Relationship is very uncertain. And also we do not know where do we go, where the relationship goes away, where we go. So, but people get bewildered in this way. That Pitaro Mamatapasang Gale Badhva Vimohito. They get they lovingly, endearingly, in the womb of her child, in her womb, a child, the recipient of all their affection, is born. This child is born out of the whatever is happening to the bodies, and it produced. But the parents, being deluded or bewildered, they hold around the neck of the child and say, "My child, my daughter, my son," and then they get into the attachment There is no attachment before, because there is no child. What is the question of attachment? But it came, and they felt that connection. Now today, verse number 31, we are starting there. That same analysis is going on. How much relationship we have with the world, how much relationship we have with our friends and relatives. Friends and relatives we know. How do you get your friends? You went to one school, and that school, some people came around your life. They are my friends, they are my friends. Suppose you had not gone to that school, so you go to Stanford, and someone is going to, say, San Francisco University. They have their different friends, because you are there, he has friends different. Here is friend. So all this friendship is unknown, and we gather together for some period of time, and disperse again for some time of period, not knowing where do we came from and where do we meet. So therefore, there is no connection. Oh Arjuna, there is no connection with your son, with your wife, with you yourself, your friend, all this you are saying. There is no relationship. It happened this way, by ignorance, by your mysterious, unknown phenomena, which is affecting your mind. You are feeling that you are bound, you are born, you are this, your son, there is no such thing. So this is a very terse inquiry into the truth. So this 31 verse says, Na dehe tava sambandho, chant together. Na dehe tava sambandha, na dareshu sutena cha, na dareshu sutena cha, pashabadha sayang bhutva, pashabadha sayang bhutva, mugdho osi mamata gunai, mugdho osi mamata gunai. So, no deho, not this in the body, tabo sambandha, you have any relationship. This body also. You related to this body when? In this birth. If you believe rebirth. In last birth, where were you? Who is residing in this body? Now you feel, if someone says, Sarvadevananda, I. Someone have named me some other name, then what would have happened? Somebody says, no, some other name was given to me. I will respond to that name. So it is all fictitious. Somebody gave some name, that's why I think it is my name. And what did you say about me? Did you talk about me? I was hearing. But if they say, no, I am not talking about you, I am talking about Sarveshwarananda. Oh, that's okay. So this is our fake situation in life. Associated with this name, I am affected. And if the name is changed, you don't identify with that change, identify with that name, then you don't get bothered. So, no dehe tava sambandha. There is no relationship of this body, your body. Na dareshu, no sute, no ba. Not your wife or your husband, as you are thinking. There is no relationship. It happened in a coincidence. Or as a devotee, we can say God's plan, the divine plan, it has happened. So there is no such relationship, not even with you are crying about your son, you lost your son, but there is no relationship with your son. It was not there in your life. It came maybe at the age of after marriage, after some time, you got that baby. No? And after some time when he grows and he went in fighting and war and this and that, and he died. So your relationship is most in the mind. Our relationship, our identification is mind. We see in some relationship which does not work with the parents sometimes in this country or in India. Then what your parents, I don't want to keep any relationship with you. Mom may say to the son may say to the mother, father may say to the son, you are like this, you don't change. I am telling you, do this, this, this. It's for your good. I have no relationship. It happens. Actually, it is based on some emotions. And that come out of ignorance. So, pasavaddhasayam bhutva, being tied to in a bondage yourself, bhutva, charmed you are, mamata gunai. You have been charmed that me and mine, that concept has come. So you have no relationship with your own body. Nor, if you have no body relationship is so, what you call superficial, so the relationship with this body is somebody, that relationship is more futile. Basically, this identification with this body is a fictitious thing. I. Which I you are talking about? 5 years before, the I, this body, is today the same body. When you are 10 years old, what is that body? That time you also say I, my body. Which body you are talking about? What a fictitious relationship here. I. So if we really, Vedanta is not something you have to search with somewhere else in the deep corner of some temple or church, it is hiding there. It is into our day-to-day experience. Look at that. How foolishly we are talking every day, and as if we are very intelligent people. You every day boast about your ego, or your pride, your body, your mind. Which body you are talking? First tell me. Which mind you are talking about? You have a baby mind when you are crawling in the floor. Mommy used to take care of everything, no? Where is that mind now? That mind is now your mind now? No. So what are you talking about I? This, whatever you see I, they are not yours. What is the question? My relationship, this, my table, my book, my house, my car, my son, my daughter, my husband, my wife. What are you talking about? What relationship? You don't exist. You are changing all the time. That relationship, and you with that changing thing, you are relating with somebody else. My relative, my son, my daughter, my daughter. So don't mind. It is because we are a very Vedantic book. We have to analyze like that. But does not mean that you should, in our practical life, will treat everyone like a stranger. Not that. But to understand, we are connected with everyone, with Atman. Not as physical body, flesh and bone. Not as emotions. Not as intelligence. Not as memory. They are all fictitious. They change. But the consciousness, which is, we are all one there. So we should love each other because of the love of awareness of consciousness, or Brahman, or Atman, or Satchidananda. And this relationship, what we are building up, it is like building a castle in the air. This is to be understood. The whole teaching of Vedanta is only that, is it not? We are building all relationship, all our worldly attachment on something which is fictitious. This is trying to prove this. Fictitious relationship, fictitious language, and you get bewildered yourself, and you say, I am hurt, I am wounded. You said like that? How could you talk like that? Yes, it affects us. Maybe days, maybe months, maybe year. We can't forget that. So this is the point to understand that this relationship is based on a unstable ground. Because this body itself is not me. Because body itself is a mass of change. My mind is not steady. It is a change. Every day it is changing, changing, changing. You are becoming more intelligent than yesterday. By reading this book, by listening to this, by hearing with this, talking. Your intelligence is not the same yesterday's intelligence. So these are all fake, because everything which changes is not real. But there is a reality then. Then what is the reality? That's the search of Vedanta. Vedanta does not end in negation and zero. Nonsense. Vedanta ends in fulfillment and joy and bliss. Its analytical process is very crude, and you can say very heartless. We love everyone, and you are saying that you are presenting our loving relationship like this. Huh? We come to read Vedanta. This is the Vedanta. No, that is not the meaning. Meaning is that you are missing what is your real relationship. Your relationship with everyone is very intimate, very deep. When you think that you are Atman, you are Brahman, you are Satchidananda. That does not change. But what is changing, you are wrongly understanding that is you. And there you are getting stuck. And there you are crying and weeping and falling in pain and agonies. Love and affection. All the trouble comes there. So this is guiding us to that conclusion. So, nadehe tavu sambandha, you have no relationship with your body, dehe. Nadare shushute nasha, nor with your wife or husband, nor even with your son. Pashabadda sayang bhutva, mugdhosi mamata gunai. You have become enslaved or stupefied by the attachment, thinking, my. This my thing is very worthless. Today you say, my, and tomorrow you hate it. The thing you love today, tomorrow you hate sometime. What you love with much affection, after some day you hate it. So this is the point. It is all a fictitious thing. It's my ignorance, Maya. That's why the term Maya, that's the term ignorance, is creating this delusional experience that it is true. It's just a great example. Suppose you go to see the movie and you really got intrigued into the movie, and someone is stabbing someone very severely, very bitterly, and you feel, you are doing, your facial expression is changing. Nothing happening, it is a light and shade play going on, and you are seeing here, you are sitting in a comfortable chair, and fan or a air condition is there, and your facial expression as if someone is hitting you. Wow. What has happened to you? No one is around you. You identify with that scene and take it to be so real, and you then cry. So this is the same thing Vedanta will tell. This is the same thing happening here, the relationship. বন্ধ আছে নাকি? খুলে দাও. Why it is? Who has closed it? Hey, open that. Anyhow, open it. Bas, ঠিক আছে. So long the class goes, it can be kept open. Okay, this is also ignorance. Play within play. Whatever we say, we are under the spell of this ignorance, Maya, Maha-Maya. We call lovingly the great mother's play, mother dancing, mother playing. So this is the ignorance. Now, next verse, 32. Durjayo mamata pasaha Durjaya mamata pasaha cha acchedya suramanavai acchedya suramanavai mamo bharya mamo apatyam mamo bharya mamo apatyam matva mugdho simudhavat matva mugdho simudhavat. Like a fool, mudha, like a mudha, fool, you are getting totally bewildered, attached, and stupefied. How? Durjoy, it is difficult, which is difficult to conquer. This mamata paso, there is, as if paso means the chain of mamata, me and mine. Me and mine, that is the chain, and that has created such deep bondage in you. So it is said that's difficult to conquer. So many things are happening in the world. We read them as the news. Even reading some serious news, we smile and laugh. But when it happens to my imaginary some friend who I have a relationship, how relationship? I have a college friend, or maybe school friend, or maybe when I was in some place, I met some people, something happened there. Oh, I could not sleep last night because I got this bad news that someone is dying and this and that. No? Huh? How many people are dying? You are not concerned about them. You have mental connection created in your mind, a fictitious relationship, and you are concerned about one person. If the death or suffering is the cause of your connection, so many things are happening, you will be connected with everyone. Why not? So this is the mamata, me and mine. That's why Shankaracharya has quite wonderfully explained it. Aham mama iti naishargikayang loko vyavahar. Mama aham, mama and me and mine. Aham idam, mama idam. I am this, mine, these are mine. This is the mystery. Ahamidam mamayidam iti. This type of naishargika and loka vyavahar. The human society, human being are continuing this type of understanding, and they are either in pain or suffering or joy or pleasure. This is happening. It is a very Vedantic analysis. So if we really, that's why it said, we understand this. How many times we are reading this? From this place, this type of teaching is going on maybe last 80 years, more than 80 years, 80, 90 years, no? What has happened? We are remaining the same. We see, listen, when it enters there, it goes straight outside. Sometimes I think little bit, it is so limited, it has no impact. Again, aham and mama, me and mine. I said that, I am that, yeah, don't know how. So ego, me, mine, attachment. That's why durjaya. It is difficult to conquer. Conquer this weakness, mamata pasu. The ties of mineness, mamata, me, mine, mineness. This tie, this is the tie I have connected with me. There is no tie. You love your watch. Huh? And someone hits it. Then see what happens. It breaks your heart. Huh? How can you do that? No? Say a new car, the whole car shed is in fire. You don't bother. But you have a car and someone put a little scratch on the car. What happens? You call police, you will have to take action and this and that, why they did it and why they broke it like that. Huh? So it is true. But where is the bondage? Bondage, you think this is your car. Suppose you have sold it today, and tomorrow morning you hear that that same car was vandalized. So will be your problem anymore? Will you feel then sad? No, it is not mine anymore. See, as soon as you say it is not mine, then you are free. When you see me, mine, then anything happening there, you are getting affected. So it is really, really a mysterious thing.
But if you don't think it is your body, rather you think like that, I am given a charge to take care of this body. Will the intensity of attachment be less?
Lesson, yeah. If someone say that yes, my body, versus somebody says, God has given me this body to work out some problem. No? So whenever we say, our intensity of pain will be less. This is an instrument. God has given this instrument to find some solution of the mystery of life. So this then the intensity of ego will be reduced. Mindness will be reduced. And that's why the holy people, when they think of God, they don't think of the body. Anything happens to the body, there is a common saying, Swami Turiyananda Maharaj used to say, Swami Turiyananda, Deho jane ar dukkho jane, mon tumi anande thako. You know, this Deho is the body. And body and suffering, let them understand their affair. You, O mind, keep in joy. That means this body and its suffering is a physical thing. It's not mine. You are separate. Just you see, that's why look at Ramakrishna with that in excruciating pain situation. No? He is keeping so much joy. So if body is separated, he is there in the body, but he is withdrawn from the body, not the body. Not he is going to sit and analyze that, but he is established in that truth. Christ, crucified. And at that point, he is not crying, ha 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 hoo. Huh? What he is saying? Oh Lord, forgive them. So what type of peace he contains? They do not know what they are doing. A blessing, because they have disidentified with the body. So spirituality is disidentification from the body. Be in the body, but not of the body. Be in the mind, not of the mind. You have to use the tool. So this tool has been given. If the body is not given, how could I get this opportunity to hear all these things? How could I have read this book? How could I have gone to my guru? How could I have gone to Jairambati, Kamarpukur, holy places of pilgrimage, Ramakrishna's birthplace? How could I saw so many holy sadhus? This is given an opportunity. It is not bad. But if it is utilized that way, identification will be less, and anything happens, God's will. God has given this body for the successful completion of this planning of God realization. So, I am here, but I am not this. It's a vehicle given to me, loan. The body has been loaned to us by God. If you do every day you think that God, you are residing in someone's house, guest house. You are a guest. If you think that this body is like dharamsala means inn, roadside inn. So you are driving long distance and so many stoppages you stop and there you find one inn. So you plan, it's a nice place, I will stay in this here and approach and get a room and then pay some money and then they keep you for several days, is it not? So this body is like that, a room given by God to experience something, not to stay here forever. Because every day it is becoming old body, old body, old home, older, and one time it cannot function. So disidentification of the body, it is the so durjayo mamata pasus chetdyo achedyo suramanava. It is very difficult even for manava, human being. What the human being, even sura, even for the gods to sever this identification with the body is very difficult. That means We have to do more sadhana, more spiritual practice to identify that this body is not me, it is a temporary abode. God has given me to fulfill some mission, and I should not identify with this body, with anyone, and entangle. But you can make relationship with everyone. Not to be entangled, but to be free. How to be free? Thinking of God. If you can see, it is also the same God resides in everywhere. So, it is impossible to sever, and is also difficult to conquer. What? The tie of attachment. This attachment with our body, with our mind, with our emotions, with our ego. So many levels of our attachment. Physical level attachment, mental level attachment, intellectual level attachment, ego level attachment. So it is all attachment, and then connected with so many things, every level. We have so many similar objects. Therefore, for both gods and humans, it is very difficult to sever, to separate out, to cut this tie of false relationship. Mind again, I am telling, false relationship. This relationship which is set without God with anyone, that's a false relationship. And if the relationship is set with God being the center, then in husband is God, in wife is God. The relationship, God to God relationship. That is freedom. You love a friend, seeing God in him, seeing God here. Well, it is a freedom. But if we don't see that God into our picture, then it is a real suffering, very difficult to sever, to cut this tie, to cut this tie. It is an unseen tie. There is a scriptural illustration that there are many horses, some they carry load and they go one place to another. The one man he may have 10 horses and they are going from one place to another place. But they cannot carry so much of night time, they may run away from one place to another place. It's a reality. Then what happens? They take a piece of rope at the end of the day, after they are being put line by line, and the owner, as if he is tying their legs, turns a piece of rope around and make a noise. So that it means you are tied. And he takes out that rope and does it next. So one horse, another horse. His leg versus the two legs, they put a rope around, and as if he is making a knot and makes a noise, and the horse understands, oh, my leg is fixed. And the horse will stay whole night like that. They will not move. Imagination, my legs are tied. But it is not tied at all. It's all free. They play this trick with the horses who are carrying load from one place to another. So we are also like that. There is no tie, no bondage. Swami Vivekananda's Song of Sannyasi says, there is no bondage, no tie, it is excepting you. You have created this mental imagination that you are bound because you think that you are this and everything related to is yours, and someone is giving you pleasure, someone is giving you pain, but you are not related in that. You are Atman. That's the freedom. So, it is impossible to sever, and it is also difficult to conquer this tie of attachment. Even for human beings, not only human, but even the gods. And Mamo bharja mamo apattang matva mugdhosi muravat. Oh Arjuna, you have become perplexed, like a fool, thinking that's my wife, my child, my family, like that. Next verse, 33. Nattang deho mahabaho, natvam deho mahabaho, tava putra kathang vada, tava putram kathang vada, sarvam tyaktva vicharena, sarvam tyaktva vicharena, sarupam avadharaya, sarupam avadharaya. Now this is the advice of Bhagavan Krishna to Arjuna, who was weeping and sobbing and got depressed because of the death of his son, Abhimanyu. He says, this is the nattang deho. First of all thing, you are not the body, you are Atman. You are not this flesh and bone, or a mixture of your mind and emotions. Nattang deho. O Mahabaho. He is addressing Arjuna to give strength. You are a mighty armed person. Don't behave like a, dull and weak personality. Come up. You are a great, powerful person. O Mahabaho, O mighty armed, nattang deho. You are not the body. You live in the body, but you are not the body. I live in the house, but I am not the house. You live in your car, you are not the car. Nattang deho mahabhav. You are not the body. Then what is the question of your son? But the son will come. If you are not the body, your son is also come. It's a fictitious thing. If your body you see, it is not you, then your son is also something which is imaginary. Nattang tava putra kathang vada. Tell me, where is your son then? Sarvam tyaktva vicharena. Now you have to renounce all this. Well, how can I renounce it? Sarvam tyaktva vicharena. Vicharena means by discrimination, by analysis, by reasoning. Reason out. This is the only Vedanta path is reason. That's why it is very dry. Many people I love Vedanta. But when these things come, very difficult, it is dry. Where is joy? You sing and dance, Krishna, 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 you may feel joy. And you are so discard, this is not. It's hard, dry. That's why Swami Vivekananda said, I shall give you dry, hard reasons. This is the Vedanta, dry, hard reason. But you can make it sweet. I'll give you dry, hard reasons, softened in the sweetest syrup of love. You add Bhakti Yoga here, then it will be love. We read the Bhakti Yoga last, the 4:30 class. So you add that, blend together, then this journey will be very pleasurable. That's why very few people are really qualified for Vedanta, because misconception comes. With the body idea, this is always discarding the body, discarding the mind, discarding your all emotions, discarding your all understanding. Cut. And then what will remain? That will remain. So nattang deho mahabaho, O mighty armed, you are not deho, means body. Tava putra kathang vada. Oh Arjuna, you are weeping and crying for your son. Tell me where, if your body is not yours, then how the relationship with the body comes to your son? Where is your son then? Sarvang tyaktva. Now you have to renounce. It is not renouncing means, oh, there is my one costly pain, I renounce. It is not like, you cannot renounce like that. Here renunciation is analysis, mental analysis. You mentally analyze that this is all happening due to ignorance, misunderstanding, seeing things in improper way, not viewing the thing in the right perspective. That's why these are all happening. All examples, no? All examples of rope, snake, all examples of what? So many examples. All examples of so many ornaments and the gold, not seeing the gold, seeing the ornament. Cookies, animal cookies, all cookies, animal cookies, are so many animals.
Ocean and the waves.
And then essential material is the same sweet biscuit. Now oceans and this. So you see the diversity, but the background to see together. So that is the knowledge that can help us. Sarvang taktva. So you give up all different types of your misconception. That you are the body, you are not the body. You are not the mind. So what the question of your friend, relation, your son, who passed away, who died, who came in your life, who was not there, he came and he grew and then went into war and then killed. So these are all analyze. Sarvang tact. And renounce everything, not only analyze. Vicharo means analyze and reject. If it is not useful, then you have to reject that. Keep that which keeps you with the permanent reality. And tell me that renouncing everything by discernment, please realize your real nature. Swarupam abadhara. Understand what is your sarupa, real nature. This is fake nature. Fake nature is imposed on the reality. Fake snake on the reality of the rope. But there was no snake at any point of time, though you saw it. So this is the mistake. This is called ignorance. This is called avidya. This is called cosmic play of the divine Maya. So being trapped into that. But you can come out of it only by analysis, by discernment. That is the way. So that was the verse number 33. Now Arjuna, after saying so much of advice, but again as we are, Arjuna also said, King karomi Jagannatha, King karomi Jagannatha, Shokena dajyate manaha, Shokena dajyate manaha, Putrasya guna karmani, Putrasya guna karmani, Rupancha smarato mama, Rupancha smarato mama. Now it is very, as we do all the time, after a big discussion, then we say, you said all these things, but the question, but you have said all these things, I do intellectually understand them. But King Karami, what shall I do? The Jo Jagannatha, you are the Lord of the universe. Jagatnatha, you are the Nath, the Lord of the whole world. Jagannatha. King Karami, what shall I say? What shall I do? O Jagannatha, Lord of the world. Shokeno dajyate manaha. My mind is scorching in the fire of bereavement, sorrow, because my son, whom I loved, he's gone. I cannot stop this. I understand intellectually, but I don't understand. I cannot take it in my heart. That's not the problem for all of us. In our life, all this suffering, intellectually, maybe you may tell me 100 things. But what about your feeling? I cannot get out of that. I may reason out, but that does not take away my shoka, bereavement. So shokena dajyate, it is burning my heart. I am scorched by the fire of this bereavement. Why? Putrasya guna karmani rupancha smarato mama. I am thinking, whenever I think, my son and his putra, my son, putrasya guna, his wonderful qualities, how he was mighty person, how he was good looking, courageous, strength, up, a boy of character. So all guna and his activities, it fits in the word and his extraordinary power which is shown in his work. So these, if I think, and also Rupa, how beautiful was my son. It's looking so nice, so sweet, no? I think of this and my mind gets totally lost. So what can I do? Oh Arjuna, oh Narayana, oh Krishna, oh Bhagavan, oh Jagannath, and Lord of the world, universe. Please tell me, what shall I do? So this is the problem. That's why we have to listen. This means we have to listen it again and again. If Arjuna-like person, such a talented, intelligent, all-rounder person, who are perfect in the reading of the Vedas and others in early days, they take so much time, again come back to same question as we put our question. You said all these things, I understand. No. But I do not know. How can I not ignore my feelings? My heart is burning in suffering and bereavement whenever I think of my... So it is a very realistic question, no? Arjuna is representing the question of us all. We talk high Vedanta, but in practical life something happens. Where goes Vedanta? You go into depression. Does not mean Vedanta is wrong, but only to understand...
Do you have any relationship with Swamiji saying that if you are not Buddha, or they said like that, if you are not a renunciator, then if you do not leave your heart and home, become a sannyasi, you won't be able to comprehend the message of Vedanta or this knowledge. So knowledge will come only if you become a sannyasi. So does it have relationship, because Arjuna is not a sannyasi, so that is why this knowledge is difficult for him to comprehend.
No, it is not that. That in Gerua, if you... Sannyasi means what? You have to define what is sannyasi. Sannyasi is not wearing Gerua, ochre cloth. It is not sannyasi. Yes, it makes a separation, that you are taking the vows and you are planning. But you are a student only. No difference than a householder. But the question is that, are you really detached? I am not the body, not the mind. Are you established in that? Then if that mindset is there in the household or in the monastic life, matters little. Nag Mahasaya, our recent examples of Sri Ramakrishna's children, they are all this Brahma Jnana, no problem. But thing is to understand what is renunciation. Renunciation of all our attachments, me and mine, and anything related to me and mine. So that is what we are, Sri Krishna is touching, tracing. So that should be, that is to be taken care of. Okay. Is it? It is so powerful machine. Okay, sorry, I am getting sometimes back maybe. Sorry. Anyhow, so yes, actually in real sense, everyone will have to be sannyasi, monk, mentally, until and unless you will not be able to realize the highest. Because Holy Mother said, even the least trace of desire is there, it will not enter into the eye of the needle. A thread will not enter into the eye of the needle. Total detachment for Brahma Jnana. But sannyas means detachment in the mind, not in the physical only. If one has the in the mind as also physical, best. That's why we respect the sadhus who are wearing Gerua ochre cloth. But if that external ochre cloth is not important, it should be internal ochre also, ochre cloth. So that is the verse says, O Lord of the world, what shall I do? My mind is burning with grief. When I remember the qualities and various activities and the physical form of my son Abhimanyu, that is the situation. What can I do? So this is 34, and I will read another and then end today. And for question answer, if you have any question answer, then we'll be replying that after finishing this next verse. 35. 35 says, Chinta parang mano nityam, Chinta paro mano nityam, Dhairjang na labhate kshanam, Dhairjang na labhate kshanam, Upayang badame Krishna, Upayang badame Krishna, Yena shoka prashamati, Yena shoka prashamati. So Arjuna, this please upayang badame, tell me the way out, the shoka, so that I can, shoka means bereavement, the shoka subsides in me, prashamati. So, machinta para mano nityam, my mind, I don't want to think. But my mind is dragged, as it were, to thinking of my son. Chinta paro mano nityam, my mind is always engrossed in the thought of my son, whom I lost. Similar thing will happen for a bhakta, God. His mind will be saturated with God. No? Or Vedantic student, Atman, Brahman, the consciousness. So his heart will be always filled with that. But Arjuna, for this condition, Arjuna says, my mind is always absorbed in this chinta. Unconsciously my mind is dragged and filled with this type of thought. No? Chinta paro mano nittam. Engaged in thoughts, my mind nittam always. Dhairjam na labhate. I cannot be patient or keep myself in peace for a second. Na labhate kshanam. Not for a moment I can keep my mind at rest. Upayang badame. Oh Lord, you know the way out. So please tell me, upaya, the way. O Krishna, you know, by which I can shoka, my shoka means grief, comes down. It becomes perfectly quiet. My mind is overwhelmed with anxiety all the time. Even for a moment I cannot hold my patience, my mind. How much? Actually those who know, those who have lost their own friends, they understand this anytime. Ramakrishna even, he said when his nephew died, how much he felt afterwards. He said, oh my God, I have what my connection with my nephew. I could not keep connection with my body. He was beyond body consciousness whole day, all the time. But he said, I cannot keep account of my body. How much relationship I had with my nephew. But I felt like a towel squeezed like that in my heart, that type of pain. And then he said, Mother showed me how intense is the pain of the householders who live in the household life, no? To show that their pain and agony. So you can easily understand how deep is the pain and agony of Arjuna losing such a bright son, bright warrior, endowed with all brightest qualities. So that's why he's saying, though you say all this, oh Arjuna, I understand it, but please, my mind is so restless. I don't want to think, but my mind is dragged, as it were, in the thought of my son, his qualities, his form, his beauty, his ability, his characters, and I am not getting peace. So please teach me how I can make peace in my mind. So, yena shoka prasamati, as I can get appease my shock or bereavement. That means I attain Shanti. That is the Shanti Gita. I attain Shanti, I attain peace. Please let me know. So we end here today, 35, and we'll start from 36. That what Bhagavan will start advising him, that again, those who have done before, but again he will continue to give the lessons. Because scriptures say this Vedantic truth is so subtle that it is only once hearing it will not do. Listening, reflecting, and deep contemplation, again and again, day and night, to go on doing like that, then only it will be settled and it will take a seat in our heart, and then we will be able to understand it is possible to overcome this by detaching or discarding this connection and understanding who am I, what is my real nature, who is my son, who came as my son, who is he? He is also Satchidananda. He is also one bubble. He is also one ripple in the ocean. And the wave is down, he has gone to the consciousness, Satchidananda back. Why to weep? For whom to weep? And I am here now, I will also go. Then I will march into the ocean. So Vedanta will say, you don't have lost, you have not lost anything. You should not have any bereavement, you should not cry, you should not weep. That is we'll get it more from Sri Krishna, from verse 36 next time. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Sri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu. Is there any question? Okay.
So, the path of jnana can be so difficult even for monks. So if some monks cannot even practice it, what to say of a household or someone that is not a monk? Can they actually achieve the end of jnana?
As a student, we can learn everything. If someone's mind is very much inclined in analytical path, and really it is also very reasonable thing. You need not have to talk of high philosophy. You need not learn any philosophy. You look at your life, then you will understand your body is not permanent. And no one needs to prove it. Your mind is not permanent, not steady. Your understanding is changing every day. Your ego, pride, today one type, another day another type. So see, these are all flexible things. You are not that. Then who are you? Analyze. So this is not that anyone entering into a university becomes a PhD. Not that anyone entering into the Vedanta study become a Vedanta Brahmajnani. Not anyone entering into the Bhakti school become a Bhakta. Not anyone entering into meditation class become a Yogi and Nirvikalpa Samadhi. So a student. As a student, we should study this and take benefit of this. And recent age, this Ramakrishna Vedanta, it gives us this opportunity to blend all this together so that your life becomes really a perfect blending, and you understand intellectually, you understand emotionally, you understand through your action, through your all efforts in the life, in the four yogic path, you can make yourself perfect.
Is there any significance to us being attached to our parents or our children? Because if a parent wasn't attached to their child, then they would just let it die, and you have to be
No, so the point is that you
raise it.
right, you are mixing two situations. It is a question of, they are not saying you be brute. You be Vedanta means a brute. Go and throw your child, throw your wife out. Hey, you are Maya, get out. Huh? Then you have to first kill yourself. You don't eat anything then. You are not the body, so why are you eating? Why are you showing anger if you are not the body? So, this does not happen. It makes a loving person. Vedanta means is a perfectly loving person. Even ordinary householder people cannot love their child in that degree, because they see the consciousness in them. You have to see in your child what is that child. Child is nothing but consciousness in one form. Like it is the example as I have given, ocean with so many ripples, so many waves, billions of ripples, waves. Did you see the ocean? So one wave is there. And when you are living in that, so long you have the body identity, yes, you have to love your child. It is your responsibility. You have to raise them, you have to take care of them. But no, they are not the mass of bone and flesh. But your baby is nothing but the expression of the divine. So to bring that awareness is Vedanta. There is one question, how to handle a son who is disrespectful and ungrateful. That's a very, really so true. What can he do? Yeah, but as a Vedanta student, we will have to do this very in a measured way. See, though the son or daughter is not respectful, does not listen to us, that's true. But if you follow Vedanta, who is my son, who is my daughter? Satchidananda plus name and form. So Satchidananda aspect is there, added with name and form. In that name and form, you see this difference. Your son, if he is your son, actually he has a mind. And you as a mother, you have a mind. So difference is happening in the mind, mental thinking. You think one way, son thinks another way. If your thought and son's thought tune together, then you say, my son is so good, no? There's no parallel like me. Oh, he does not do anything without asking me. And I like him because he is so good. So Arjuna, his father is saying, thinking of my son, my mind goes there because he is a good son. Suppose this son, the same son, would not listen to anything of mother or father. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, what happens? Then the relationship breaks, no? So as a mother, I would suggest what to do. You love your child and give freedom to them. Whatever good you do. And teach them a realistic point. If you do this, this will bring good to you. I think. If you do this, it may not good to you. That's my life's experience. And now you give the responsibility to the son or the daughter. It is your responsibility. You decide what is good for you. I love you as my son. I wish that you should be well established in life. You will be in perfect peace and joy. And to be established in life, you should have to be careful about how you are moving. This is my suggestion. If it is good, take it. If it does not, take it. Whatever your heart wants. But don't blame anyone. You have to feel the consequences. You make a good choice, you will be happy. You make a bad choice, you will be suffering. It is yours. But with my matured experience as mother, I will say, my child, had I been in your position, I would have done this, I would have done that. So like a friend, if you can teach your son that what is good for him, and after teaching that, if he does not listen, make him a responsible person. Let him do 2 mistakes, 5 mistakes. Not listening to you and do some mistakes. And then you say lovingly again, hey brother, you my child, I told you. Anyhow, you did it good, you got an experience. Okay? Be careful next time. Like a mother affection, you be affectionate all the time and see that that child is not matured. You are mother now, after so many years, your understanding is different than that of a youthful person who is just growing. Yes, the whole world is different for a young man. And whole world is different than like people like us who are running to 80s. No? Our world is a different world. How much blood pressure, what is the sugar level, what is the kidney condition, what doctor told you, are you having a really problem? And you go to the young man, the whole world will crush now, he will conquer the world, I will revolutionize, I will write a book, I will change the world. So this is all true. So you have to understand, these are the two sets of mind. So we cannot say it is bad, but I would suggest to make them responsible is the duty of mothers and parents. So please try that. And if the son does not listen, pray to God, pray for the child, and let him feel the consequences. You have no control. No one can control the other. You cannot control me. You may give me suggestion. If I don't want to take, then your advice will be creating anger in me. I don't like that. You said me one day, hey, don't do this, without giving reason or something. I said, no, I understand it's good, I will do. Again, you think I am lovingly doing. No, you are not lovingly doing. I don't understand that. And I will revolt against you, I'll fight against you. And then that is the bitterness created. But as a Vedanta student, detached outlook, God has brought me, this son in my life, I will teach him Vedanta. By making him independent thinker. Let him think. And if you do this, this good may come. This, if you do this, it may not be so good. I think this way. Now, I give the responsibility on you. You now be safe and sound and do what is good for you. And you do mistake. You win, good, go on. And support. As a result, he will not leave you. The son will love you. And one day he will understand, my mom tells really for my good only. But young people don't understand that so early. Young age is such an age. We don't like that what mom and dad always taught us. We also did the same thing when we are like them. Okay, another question. If I practice seeing Satchidananda even in an evil-minded person who approaches to cheat me, is it possible to stumble and make mistakes in the body-mind complex? Yes, if anyone approaches you and cheats you, before cheating, you should text that person. Let him not cheat you. Anyone coming to me in a guise of a good man and wants to cheat, I should not be vulnerable for that, accepting that cheating. I should have to be watchful, observe what is the intention of the person, why he is so kind to me, why he is showing so much sympathy to me, out of nothing. Is there any motivation behind it? We will have to analyze. That's the Vedanta teaches. Everything put into the dissection table. Analyze, cut open and see. And then take your steps. So, Satchidananda is everywhere. But always remember, Satchidananda is covered with cloud. The sun is all the time in the sky. A deep layer of cloud comes and you don't say sun anymore. You say, oh, today so dark, sun has not come. Sun has come, sun is always shining. Atman is always here. Be an evil person, be a holy person. Be an educated person, be a fool. But only covered with ignorance. So we will have to understand when we interact with somebody that though he is Satchidananda, though he is God, but he does not know that. He knows himself to be what his mind is teaching him to be. His mind, emotions, ego, colored in ignorance, he is behaving that way. So be careful, that's my request. We'll have to, anyone can approach and can say that I am great, but his life should show it. If you don't be careful there. Okay, thank you. So, thank you all for these questions. And tomorrow will be gospel class. I will take that gospel class tomorrow also. Thank you. Mother bless you all. And let our everyday be a learning from Vedantic perspective, and let us face the challenges and solve the mystery, solve the problems in Vedantic perspective. Be detached. We cannot detach. When anything happens, we get attached into it. We become involved into it. They are the people who can detach little bit and observe the situation. There will be suffering, but intensity will be less. But this is a learning process. Everyone will have to practice this. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Okay, thank you. Now I take you. কি হলো চলে গেছে কোথায় কোথায় চলে গেল ঠিক আছে জয় ঠাকুর বারোটা হয়ে গেল ক্লাস 12টা ক্লাস এই ক্লাস নাম্বার 12
হ্যাঁ আজকে 1 ডজন ক্লাস
35টা ভার্স মাত্র পড়া হলো 12 দিনে we are reading today is the 12th class 1 dozen class 12 class but only we read 35 verse 35 verse we read